Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. This is our week 2 preview episode for our contest. We went 2-3 last week. Unfortunately, we got caught by the Daniel Jones trap. We got caught by the Panthers Bryce Young trap. And last but not least, Aaron Rodgers let us down primetime Monday night. He looked good. I will say he looked good. I saw some glimpse of hope. Bryce Young and Daniel Jones otherwise, I will say, just a brief disclosure. Going forward, I have talked to Dynell behind the scenes. For your guys' sake, for my sake, and everybody's mental health around the world, we will no longer be betting the Panthers. I know, the journey comes to an end, but all good things must come to an end. And unfortunately, Bryce Young, you haven't shown me a damn thing.
Yeah,
With that
damn
said,
thing.
we have a preview show to get to. We have 16 games to get to. Thursday, Sunday, Monday. But before we get into those games, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand dude. Dynell, welcome back, man.
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? Welcome back. Safe to say this weekend didn't go as planned. I can tell you that much.
Definitely.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit to talk. I think I got a new coach in the hot seat. I'm still wondering if I am or not, but we might add a new coach in the dungeon today. So stay tuned. It's something to be excited for.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting week one. Now, we told you guys go light week one. There's no reason to unload the bankroll. We've got a long season ahead of us. 2-3 in the contest. I mean, I'll take it. For what we got, I will say I kind of regret kind of dismissing the Jaguars because Jaguars and the Steelers were two of my biggest plays this week. We play contest lines for you guys. However, today we don't have any contest lines. The contest lines were not locked. They locked tomorrow, so I won't be able to see those lines until tomorrow. So we will go by lines based off current time, 6:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for FanDuel. I have all those written down. I'll say the spread before we get to those games. But Dynell, we went 2-3. I think we got some light down the end of the tunnel here. We just want to have a winning week. Let's get back on track. It's a long season. We'll take bad 2-3 weeks over 0-5, 1-4 any day.
Hell yeah.
So 2-3, it's not the end of the world. If you guys are playing units on our picks, you're down a unit and plus a little bit of change. But we're gonna get that back this week, I promise. Let's start with the Thursday night football game. We have the Buffalo Bills traveling to Miami. Miami with a backdoor win against the Jaguars. Jaguars still covered plus 3.5. Bills clawed their way back to beat the Cardinals. I told you guys the Cardinals are going to be a scrappy team this year. I like the Dolphins here, Dynell. Obviously, we can't play this in the contest, but I feel like this is a spot where you and I normally play. Miami at home in the division. Dude, Josh Allen banged up. Now, they are saying it's not like anything broken or whatever. It's more like sprain. He didn't break his wrist or whatever, so he's only been playing with, I guess it's just pain tolerance at this point. However, I just don't know what that Bills defense is going to be able to do against the spread Miami offense. I know Miami's running backs are a little bit banged up, but they're just so much depth on that team. I just don't know how the Bills contain that offense.
So much speed. There is so much speed on that offense. And granted, when you face the Dolphins, you're never facing a team probably in recent history of anything like it. And the closest thing was Tyreek Hill and the Chiefs, but it was just one man. The whole squad right now has complete speed on all sets of the field. And when you're dealing with primetime injuries like Matt Milano still, and who I think was still missed yesterday. He was still missed yesterday, but it's going to be even more glaring when you place the Dolphins you're in Miami. Like I said, we talk about it. I got the Bills winning the division, but I do have this going 1-1. Mainly because, like you said, it's Miami goes in Miami. When they get to Buffalo, they're gonna get their fucking beat the brakes off of. So you got it. So take it while you have it now. And to be honest with you, the offense, Josh Allen literally took over last game. He literally took complete control of the whole entire game. And I feel like that's going to be a little bit more difficult with a Miami defense. I think Arizona was a good surprise. I liked what I seen from Arizona, but I said at the end of the day, like you're the Buffalo Bills, your expectations to win this division and go to the AFC Championship. You got to handle that. You got to handle your light work. You know, granted it's week 1, still a little rust and stuff like that, but nah, I would take Miami speed any day against this Buffalo Bills banged up defense, especially 2.5 points at home.
Yeah, it's going 2.5. It
Right.
was a pick 'em this morning, so I mean, sharp money's been piling on Miami. So if you guys want to get on Miami, I like them a lot more at 2 than I do at 2.5. It sounds crazy, but you know, I don't know, like 20, 24. I don't know. I don't really know what a score is. I just know that I like Miami in this spot. Tua is 9-3 against the spread at home when favored by 3 or less points. So that just goes to show you this team is a home team in Miami. Not really much to say. We can't play it in the contest, unfortunately, but I think Dynell and I will both be on Miami Thursday night.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, guys. We've got the Chargers and the Panthers up next. Chargers -6.5 on the road. The right spot, the Panthers. That's all I'm going to say. We're not going to dig into it because we're not playing this shit in the contest because I'm not touching either of these teams. Anything you want to say about that, Dynell?
No. Yeah, Bryce Young, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's all I got to really say about that. And granted, like I said, I knew it's a new team, but the defense was atrocious. I mean, altogether, I ain't gonna lie to you, the coaching staff didn't really put up a great game plan because that was embarrassing. You know, first week back, Bryce Young, second week, we expect to see improvement, and what I've seen was a complete colossal disaster that's gonna eventually a rebuild is gonna need another rebuild. I'm letting you know.
Yeah, I don't want to bet for or against the Panthers at this point because I really don't know what the hell to expect. So we'll just go ahead and pass on this game. Definitely not going to be a contest play. Line is too large. Let's move on to an interesting game. A lot of movement on this. The Saints +6.5 traveling to the Cowboys. Cowboys -6 is probably what I want to look to get it at. If you have it at 6 in your book, I'd take it there. In our contest, it's either going to be 6.5 or 5.5. The way the money's moving, it's most likely going to land on 6.5.
6.5.
I don't know if that's going to be a contest play for us. I think we'll definitely consider it. I think we're just going to bet here if it's regression for the Saints. I don't think the Saints are going to be able to repeat that performance at all this year. I think they peaked last week. And, besides that, I just don't see them doing that to teams. I think the right side's got to be the Cowboys if you get a decent number here, right?
Right, yeah, no doubt. And here's what I'm going to say to you now. I will apologize. I will say this here. I will apologize for disrespecting y'all game, okay? The Panthers are literally doo-doo water, and I don't know what we was thinking. At the end of the day, though, Derek Carr, you had a great game. I'm glad you showed me something for the first time since the time you went down from that ACL injury back in that MVP year you had. You damn near won MVP that year if you didn't get hurt. But ever since then, bro, it has been very, very deflating. I've been a fan of yours, and I'm just glad to finally see that you stepped up because you see what happens with the Saints when Derek Carr's on. That's what we saw. But like you said, they peaked. Like I said, they played a very terrible team, completely new defense, completely new offensive coordinator, completely new head coach, and a abysmal game from Bryce Young. So you can't gauge much from that for the Saints. As far as that aspect, I still think they're one of the worst teams, and I still think that they have one of the worst coaching jobs in the league, and still one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. That doesn't change after just 1 week. We've all seen Zach Wilson have a good week. So let's take a chill pill. You most likely lean with the Cowboys here. I mean, 100% with me. But hey, to each his own.
Yeah, it's just going to come down to the number, honestly.
Right.
So let's move on to another interesting game. The Raiders are traveling to Baltimore. Raiders +9.5. It looks like it might touch 10 in some spots. I think the contests are going to lock it in at 9.5. I think this almost looks similar to the spot. Now, listen, we saw some coaching blunders last week from Antonio Pierce. 4th and 1 on the opponent's side of the field, losing in the fourth quarter, and he punts it. I saw a stat where that hasn't happened. That was the first time it happened in like 25 years. Right. No team in losing in the fourth quarter, 4th and 1 on the opponent's side of the field, has punted the ball. So I know there's like that thing that like that hot mic or something. Someone got him. He's like, "What do I do here? Do I punt this or do I go for like?" He said something weird, and it's just like you're looking around. What the hell? Like this guy's an NFL coach getting paid millions of dollars to coach his team, and Gardner Minshew didn't have a terrible game. Like he had an okay game.
Very decent.
the Raiders just itself, like Zamir White couldn't get going, defense couldn't get off the field on third down. Like, it's an ugly dog. You guys know I love ugly dogs. You know this podcast loves ugly dogs, but I don't know if I can play this Dynell. I mean, we're gonna have to come back to this and talk about this number because it is a huge number.
It's a huge number,
right? Like, you can't take the Ravens in the spot, can you?
No, I can't say that confidently. Like you said, I can't take this Ravens team right now confidently. And it's not even the fact that they lost the game. It's the fact that at spots, man, it was just blunder after blunder after blunder, penalty. I mean, granted, hey man, if the refs got that ching inside, I have no idea. I don't know. But from the way I've seen it right now, there was a lot of penalties against the Ravens last game. There was very undisciplined and uncharacteristic from a John Harbaugh team. Now, granted, I believe they're going to turn it back around. They're going to win this one hands down. Okay, I get versus win. But to me, confidently say they can lay 10 points right now. And granted, we seen it. Antonio Pierce, first time head coach, first game. Yeah, like I said, you've seen it. All right, it's right in front of your face. But at the end of the day, I really feel like there's a lot of bounce back potential here. Like I said, Gardner Minshew did not look bad at all. That didn't look bad at all. And then, like I said, I expect Devontae Adams to get a little bit more going, to get a little bit more offense going. And like I said, the problem was the running game. But let's hope they can bounce back. Like I said, I don't know 100%. I guess it's a contest play. But like I said, I personally can't lay 10 points on the Ravens right now. That's
it's just got to be considered just because the number is so high. Yeah. So I agree. Let's move on to a game that has two interesting sides here. A lot of money coming in on the Lions. The Buccaneers are traveling to Detroit. Detroit 7-point home favorites. I'm trying not to overreact because the Bucs may have just played the worst defense in the league. Sorry, Dynell. I think if you can get 6.5. If you have a book out there that has 6.5, I think I'd play the Lions. 7, maybe even the Lions. But I think once you hit 7.5, I don't think you can play the Lions in the spot. You still have Mike Evans, and you saw that very blatantly. Baker Mayfield was throwing a good ball yesterday. I don't necessarily think the Commanders were the greatest test for that, but we saw the Rams kick it into high gear in the second half, and they started putting up points on the Rams, and that was out Puka Nacua. So there are a lot of spots where we could see the Bucs covering this. I don't think they win this game, but I definitely think they could keep it within this number. I just think it depends on what we get in the contest. If it's 6.5, we might consider it. If it's 7.5, I just don't think we play the Lions, and we probably have to think about the Bucs.
Right. Baker Mayfield, hey man, looked really good. Really good. The Commanders look really bad. All right, that's just a simple play of the day. Simple play of the day. I told you guys before. If you were thinking, if me personally, I would have took the I would took the Commanders in it today. But I knew that instinctively, as an NFL, as a fan, as a person who loves the game, who really can see the game, the corners were going to get cooked, and they absolutely did. I think Chris Godwin had 2, and Mike Evans had 2. There's 2 apiece. Why not? So it was very, very discouraging to see that the defense didn't take a step up yet. Granted, it's week 1, but a lot of it's very clear that a lot of things have to happen with this Commanders defense that hasn't happened yet. They have to take some time to really gel, to really get moving, because also he didn't get sacked. Or he got sacked, one time? The pressure was non-existent. And you already know that's a complete difference when you got Aiden Hutchinson and his defense coming to town right now. They proved it against Matthew Stafford, who was a stationary quarterback. So I'm telling you guys right now, expect a lot of regression from the Bucs this week. Honestly, Jared, this might be a contest play today. I honestly feel like the Lions left a lot on the table. They're kind of pissed off about that. They got some more. They got a lot of things, a little bit of things to kind of clean up. Great game by the Rams, but by their standards, they should be able to dominate a little bit more better than that. I feel like this is the week they kind of, mentality wise, they're ready to roll.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to a game where we kind of I have a little bit to talk about. It's the Jets and the Titans. Jets are 3.5 road favorites. I think we can all say we're surprised at how poor that rush defense was yesterday. They couldn't get off the field. Jordan Mason, it didn't matter that Christian McCaffrey was out. I mean, you couldn't have scripted that better for us. We get the Jets in a decent spot, and then the Niners' best players out. I mean, the Jets should have handled that and kept that game, even if not won. They should have handled that game very competitively. It should have never gotten out of hand. Kyle Shanahan schemed the shit out of Saleh. Like, embarrassing. They got the ball with 5.5 minutes left in the second quarter, ran it down their throats, kicked a field goal to end the half, and got the ball at half, scored a touchdown the opening drive. It's like they ate up 10 minutes, scored 10 points, and then the Jets go out there and go 3-and-out. Like, you can't do that. So I would say this, though. Rodgers still looks good. He looks like he had it. That pass to Alan Lazard down the sideline on a bullet. Okay. Yeah, like, you have glimpse. I have a feeling 3.5 is going to be in the contest. I want to back the Jets here. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to back the Jets here, especially against this Titans team, because we saw the Titans fold against the Bears, but I don't know if I'm just getting cold feet because of the coaching and the defense of what I saw. But then again, they were playing probably the number one or two team in the NFC. So I just think maybe this is a slight overreaction, because if the Jets win yesterday or cover, what do you think this number is? Like 4.5, 5.5? So, I mean, we are probably getting a discount with the number against a poor Titans team. Like, this is definitely something we consider. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, most certainly. And that's what I've been when I saw this line, I was considering it the whole time. I'm like, wow. I said, I understand this is a complete overreaction to the Jets. Now I get it. All right. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me start differently. 'Cause I want to get this off my chest too. Robert Saleh. Come here. Remember that one coach I said that's in the dungeon right now? No offense. I know it's probably an overreaction. But Robert Saleh, I'm sorry, my boy. You're in the dungeon. And you're not the bottom of the dungeon. You're not with Dennis Allen. You know what I'm saying? But you're definitely in the dungeon. The fact that this defense gave up 8 consecutive scoring drives last night is ridiculous. They had the ball for literally 2/3 of the game. They had 40 minutes controlling the ball. That is ridiculous. Like, what are we talking about? And then on top of that, you mix that and your run game was porous. Your defense was completely uncharacteristic the whole entire game. Uh-oh. Now I'm watching you. Because it's finally crazy that now you got an offensive output. You've seen some glimpses with Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson throughout the whole game, but they only been out in the field for 20 minutes. Whoa, when did that happen with the Jets defense? Their third string running back. You know what I'm saying? Granted, Mason is very tough. He's very tough. He was playing some games last year. I've seen him. He's actually tough. 150 rushing yards to a third string running back with the interior line. Honestly, let's be honest. The 49ers line is not great. They have a great left tackle and they have somebody, but that inside is where it's supposed to be mushy. And they pushed you guys back 5 to 6 yards every single play. That man had averaged, I don't know if it's a true number or maybe I'm just talking on my head. That man ran the ball. He rushed for 7 yards before he met any contact. It got to the point where I'm like, Jesus God, he's run for a first down before he even gets touched. So Robert Saleh, you're definitely in my hot seat. But it's week 1. Hassan Reddick is not there, so we all understand there's going to be some regression there with Huff going to Philadelphia. I understand that pass is going to be a little rough. But I give credit where credit is due. I'll give you benefit that you went against great coaching, because that is a great coach over there. Absolutely tremendous coach over there with a great offense, and he just gets his offensive production no matter what. But now my eyes on you now, though. You gotta. I have to see a complete improvement, and honestly, I believe we will, Jared. I honestly believe we will. I honestly think the Jets. I feel like the best thing that could happen for us as bettors was the Jets sticking up the joint this game, and then they're giving us now 3.5 to the fucking Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, we're getting a discount.
Yeah, honestly. So, yeah, bro, that's something we're going to talk about. That might be a play, bro.
I think if the Jets don't go out there and manhandle the Titans next week, there's going to be just some discussions about coaching.
Yo,
Rodgers is a ticking time bomb, dude. Like, he doesn't have much time left. Like, you're going to get him healthy for a little bit, but he's going to start the later the season gets too.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to start feeling it. So they've got to have a hot start to this season, and that last night was inexcusable.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Solid, this book is deep. You can go deep down in that book. I'm telling you, real quick, and I got patience.
Shit, not me. I need them to cover next week.
Yeah, damn right. Yeah, facts. Hell yeah. Hell
Let's
yeah.
move on to another interesting game. We had the Seattle Seahawks traveling to New England to face the Patriots. The Seattle Seahawks, what's the spread? 3.5 road favorites.
Whew.
I will say,
Mm-hmm.
we talk about this Seattle Seahawks offensive line being poor.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. We talk about their defensive line kind of being average, but the one team that has a worse offensive line than the Broncos might be the Patriots. So we're kind of getting a little bit of help there. This is hard, dude, because I feel like the Patriots. You guys obviously saw the Patriots had so many things bounced their way in that Bengals game.
Oh my god!
I mean, I couldn't believe it. Points taken off the board in front of our eyes led to 0 points. 2 fumbles, shit, it might have been 3, but I know
I think it was 3.
Fumbles.
Tanner, I remember the one. Tanner Hudson fumbled that bitch at the 2-yard line on his way to the end zone. He literally fumbled.
And Joe Burrow fumbled.
And
the punt or the kickoff.
Yeah, yep, and gave the ball right back to early too.
So with that being said, if you can get a 3 in Seattle, if you can still get a 3 on your book, I take it.
Right.
I take it.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to get a 2.5. If it's a 2.5 in our contest, I have a feeling it's going to be in there.
Yeah,
if it's a 3.5 in the contest, I don't like it as much.
Nah, gotta get
so. I mean, the Patriots defense is good.
Yeah, they surprised the fuck out of me, and you know what? Hey, look, man, I'm gonna bite the bullet. I told him, I was telling people in my PlayStation party, everything. I said, you are crazy. What path does the Patriots have to win this game? Like, what imaginable path can you think of for the Patriots to win this game? And I guess Dr. Stone was in the fucking building because he showed me alternate universe, and that motherfucker definitely showed the Patriots. We're in the universe that the Patriots won that game. I mean, like I said, it's turnovers, like the fumbles in the red zone. And I'm sorry, not the red zone, the 2-yard line. That can't happen, man. That can't happen. A lot of bad things just went the wrong way, and I don't like the whole Jamar Chase back and forth going on right now. You see what he said about
the whole
6 touches.
Vibe.
Yeah, it's just
and camaraderie as you use in this team is just not there. They don't look like they want to be there.
Sad,
it's awful.
Bro. It's sad. It is sad. So yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, Zach Taylor. Yeah, you might be on that. You might be on that list too, my boy. You might be on that list too because that was abysmal. That was terrible. I mean, that was awful. They didn't come ready to play. That was bad. Very bad.
Then at the end of the game, and if they really wanted to win, they're punting in midfield, like 4th and 4, whatever it was, with 3 minutes left. They're punting midfield, like dude, drop your nuts, man. You have to change something up. You have to. That was another very embarrassing performance by a team that should have handled business. So, this isn't about the Bengals right now. This is about the Patriots and the Seahawks. Right. I think we agree. If you can get a 3 on Seattle, I'd play it. If this is 3.5 for our contest, however, I don't think we're going to be able to throw the Seahawks in at 3.5. Nah. And I'm not backing the Patriots, especially not after a big win last week. Right. So let's move on, Dynell. We have a 49ers-Vikings match. Vikings plus 6.5 at home. I already hit this at 6. I saw the Niners got the 6 this morning. I hit the Niners at 6. Yeah. I think, again, this is kind of the reasoning why I took the Giants. I think we're getting a little bit of an overreaction to this and overinflation to this this Vikings team. A little bit. Sam Darnold, he played a decent game, but he didn't have to. Daniel Jones handed the Vikings the game. Handed. The one thing I will say, Brian Flores loves to blitz, and guess who doesn't get sacked? Brock Purdy. He gets 15% of the pressures of his career. 15% of pressures result in a sack. 15%. So, he can pressure all he wants, but until he gets a quarterback pressure, he can blitz, send pressure. But you saw yesterday, the Jets didn't sniff Purdy. Didn't sniff. The one time they sniffed Purdy, he ran for 15 yards. So, I just don't see why the Niners aren't 7.5.
Right.
So They're
It's a
sitting
lot
at
of
6. It might be 6.5 in the contest. I still kind of like it there. What do
right,
you think?
bro. We didn't even see the best out of. We didn't see the best out of any of those stars. Think about that. We didn't see
I
the
just
best of
got
George
a
Kittle.
touchdown.
We didn't even see. Yo, do we? What did Ayuk do? I honestly, like I said, I
He
found
had like
out.
2 catches for like 30 yards or something. Dropped a touchdown.
Bro, you beat a top. You scored 32 points on a top defense without Ayuk being Ayuk. Debo was versatile, so Debo had a
Yeah,
decent game.
Debo did his
Kittle,
average thing.
Kittle in and out for what 4 or 5 catches. I think that's what we kind of expect. And then you said you got Mason who ran for 150.
If
A
Jordan
buck.
Mason's going to do that to the Jets,
Jets. Yo,
the Vikings have a
fancy.
rude awakening coming.
I know them fancy owners are going crazy right now hoping he plays this game. I mean,
Oh,
either way, like I say, because who knows? I mean, I don't know if McCaffrey's gonna miss more time, but McCaffrey still might come back, and we didn't even see that. So
well, apparently he has
it's
Achilles tendonitis, and he might be out.
ooh,
He might be out
a
next
little
week
bit.
too.
I mean, shit, it don't really matter.
Well,
The way that
regardless,
offensive line look, yeah, but the way that old line looked, they was running over past motherfuckers. Now, granted,
yeah.
here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. It's a different thing. It's a different thing from picking up a blitz one time than picking up a blitz through the entirety of the game because you know Brian Flores is gonna do that. So
They're
so
just in
that's
for it.
my
Yep.
only So that's my little kink with that. But any other way, I mean, that still creates one-on-ones in the outside. And with IU coming back with a full week of practice on top of that, Deebo Samuel getting get credit for Deebo Samuel. And like I said, you got probably the mastermind play caller, bro. And I just don't, hey, man, they're going to handle business. All I know is they're going to handle business. The Vikings, Sam Darnold is not, yo, bro. I'm going to go off a little bit. Yo, Giants, I tried to say y'all aren't ass. Y'all are ass. Y'all are ass, boy. And granted, we were ass yesterday too. We were ass too. I ain't gonna say that. But y'all are ass, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. The worst thing that could have happened to y'all was Hard Knocks. Literally, the worst thing that could have happened to you guys was Hard
Not
Knocks.
only y'all suck, y'all look stupid.
Stupid. Y'all suck, look stupid. Your owner said, I will be sick if he goes to the Eagles. Oh my God! When that happened, when he said that, I said, "There ain't no fucking way. This is literally a movie. Like this is scripted at this point. Like that is ridiculous." And then he drops 3 touchdowns on game 1. Insane. Yeah. Shout out to Chris. Shout out. I'm Saquon Barkley. You want me some bread? But at the end of the day, bro, like the Vikings. Come on, Sam Darnold. What do you go? 1 incompletion, 2 incompletions. At one point, that motherfucker was 15 for 16 in the fourth quarter. It got to the point where I'm like, this man's automatic. They must think he's fucking Tom Brady or something. The pressure, non-existent. Kayvon Thibodeau, completely non-existent. 0
Yeah.
tackles.
Awful.
So,
Awful.
what are we talking about? Sorry, I looked at my mic for a second. That's why I looked over here. Here's my mic. But what are we talking about, man? Like, it is sad that you can say that. Big regression for the Vikings. I got 49ers all day, but just watch out for that, for seeing that blitz continuously. That might cause just a little tink of an issue, but I don't think that offense is really scoring much. That 49ers defense still looked elite.
Yeah. I agree.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to the Colts and the Packers. Packers plus 3.5 at home.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Malik Willis is going to be the starter. I bet the Colts at 2.5 last night when the line dropped. It's up to 3.5 in a lot of spots. I like a 3. I don't think I'm going to play anything on the Packers here. If it gets to 4, I think we consider it. But contest-wise, absolutely not. Like,
No.
I'm begging this to be 2.5 in the contest, dude. I'm begging it to be 2.5. Shout out to
It's
you
not.
guys. If you got, like I said on, the last preview, I was like, dude, if the Colts hits 3, that's my favorite play of the week. And what does Anthony Richardson do, dude? It might not look pretty, but that guy he finds ways,
Yo,
man. I love Anthony
oh
Richardson.
my God, bro.
He's just that dude. So, I like the Colts in this spot, but the 3.5 is throwing me off a little bit. The Packers still have talent. The defense still looks good. But you don't know what to expect from Malik Willis is the problem.
No,
So
I don't. But here's what I will say. Now, LaFleur might get creative, and this might be between him and Josh Jacobs, that can be a nice little running tandem going on. You might only get 7 passes out of him, but that motherfucker will have about 15 carries, 100 yards. So that's far fetched. But at the end of the day, that's what we're banking on. Did you see the way Malik Willis looked when he came into the game to throw a Hail Mary? That man still didn't throw the ball.
Yeah,
Like he's still like it's like I don't know what you're looking at or what he's thinking. I don't know what it is, bro. But like out of all the quarterbacks that came into the league as far as that can't pass or run, he might be one. He might be the worst one.
there's just no sense of comfort
There's
that he gives off.
it's not, and like I said, you're afraid to throw the Hail Mary. You had two plays to throw the ball, and you did not throw the ball once. You ran out of bounds on one, and it got smacked on the other. So like it's like, yo, for some reason I hope you really improve, and hopefully that's not a sight for the season to come. But I can't bet Packers nothing with him at quarterback. I
Yeah.
can't. Now that like I said, the defense maybe, but.
They might. I don't know. I don't know a path for them scoring points.
I don't, man. Like Josh Jacobs going to have to run for 150 yards, 200 yards for him to compete. Like
back to his Vegas days.
Like, yeah, bro, and certain receivers because y'all getting if y'all might be lucky if y'all sniff 2 catches. So yeah, the unders pay the unders.
There you go. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the Browns and the Jaguars. Dynell. Browns +3 traveling to Jacksonville. Was it me, or did every time you look at the game, Deshaun Watson was 4th down, scrambling left to right? I saw him run out of bounds before he even got to the 1st down marker once. And would you believe? All right, Deshaun Watson just had the lowest amount of yards on the most amount of passes in the 2000s. 2000s and on. He had the most passing attempts and the least amount of yards. Do you know how many times he threw the ball?
Actually, I don't. I didn't even look at the stat line.
45 attempts. Do you know how many time or how many yards?
This better not be no double-digit number.
169 yards on 45 attempts.
That's crazy. That's wild.
That's insane.
That is wild.
That's, quick math. That's what, 4? Not even yards
per attempt. Per
attempt.
Yeesh.
I mean, this dude's throwing screen passes all game.
Yeah, about 4.
Listen, this is ugly.
Well,
like
3 actually.
I don't like anything about this Browns. Their defense didn't show up. Their offense doesn't show up. Their offense is so bad that their defense is always on the field, and their defense couldn't get stops. I mean, if you watch that Cowboys game, you're like, it started off, and you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, like literally.
And on the flip side, we got a Jaguars team that in the first half looked dominant against the Dolphins. They were getting pressure on Tua.
Yeah,
You saw the Dolphins scheme. Yeah. They kind of cleaned up that pressure, and then next thing you know, it was Tyreek Hill season. So, the Browns don't really have that threat. They don't have a Tyreek Hill. Like, they got Jerry Jeudy, who I think he got in the end zone last week, but I mean, besides that, dude, like Amari Cooper, he looks a little slow to me. Even Deshaun Watson overthrew Amari Cooper, and I didn't think that was possible. But I just don't see a over-the-top threat for this Browns offense. I like the Jags in the spot. Really would love. I mean, if I could find a 3, I'd probably play it on the book at 3. Even 3.5, man. Like, I like this Jags team, especially at home.
Hell yeah.
Dude, they looked really good in the first half versus the Dolphins, and the Browns, I don't think they could come back if they get down is the problem.
No, and you're most certainly right about that. Like, they're going to be struggling to put up points, and I ain't gonna lie to you, no matter who's on the offense, if Tyreek Hill was on the offense, they probably still drop 10 points. Like, it's like, it is unexplainable how the regression, like, this case of Deshaun Watson has to be studied. Like, the complete regression. It's not even like it's, oh, he's a step behind, he's a step slow, he's like Aaron Rodgers, he had a little slap back. He looked worse, bro. He looked worse than Zach. Like, it got bad. It was like Zach Wilson type. Like, I was getting like, bro, like you can't do nothing. Like, I don't know what happened to you, but you can't produce nothing. And as much as we like that defense, if they're gonna be out there for a majority part of the game and they get tired, of course they're gonna regress. It's gonna look bad. So, like, no matter, man, I feel so bad for the Browns defense. You guys probably got the worst offense in the league. And it's sad because you still got Amari Cooper. He can produce something. Njoku's a dog when he can actually get the goddamn ball. So, like, it is very frustrating to see this, man. So, no Nick Chubb till week 4. Yeah, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
pros are going to be hitting the Browns line,
Browns. Mm-hmm.
but I don't see it, dude. Even Kevin Stefanski kind of looked like desperate, like
Yeah.
going for it on his own side of the field, like desperate. Like when desperation kicks in, dude, I don't have any confidence putting money on you. So we're not going to be on that. We'll talk about the Jags. I definitely like the Jags in that spot, but
Yeah.
man, Browns, man, they're down there with the Panthers for me.
Right. And CeeDee Lamb only had 62 receiving yards. Only had 5 catches.
So let's go to a game that I don't have anything to say about. You might have something to say about, and that's the Giants plus 1.5 traveling to Washington. Only thing I can say is I'm not touching this game. I know. Listen, Dynell, I know you don't want to hear this, but I know the right side of the Giants. I know it. I know it is.
Yep.
I know the right side of the Giants. This is the only defense in the league probably that Daniel Jones will face for the rest of his NFL career, because this might be the last year. This might be the only defense for the rest of his career that he'll have a chance to put up points.
Right.
The problem is, how many times does he hit the other team before he hits his own team? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you saw Saquon Barkley already has more touchdowns in the last season and last week. So for last season plus yesterday.
Yeah.
Than Daniel Jones.
Yep.
And Daniel Jones also has more pick sixes than he has touchdowns.
Yes, since signing that contract.
Yeah, so that right there is enough for me to not touch this game. I don't care what the side is. I don't care who's better. I don't care what edge there is. Not touching it. Not doing it to myself. I literally was going through pain watching that game. So, Dynell, the floor is yours. I am off this completely.
Hey, yo, I'm going to quote the Giants fans on this one, bro. Hey, yo, Danny, I need $1 million, dog. I need $1 million. Yo, that's how you know this whole thing with the Giants have reached peak rock bottom. When your fans are out, you see the video? Have you seen the video firsthand about the Giants fans sitting outside? Yep. Hey, yo, Dan, I need $1 million, Danny. Boo! As he was walking, I feel so bad for the young man because, you play very, very bad quarterback play, but when you sign that contract in New York, that's what comes with it, my boy. That's what comes with it. And as far as the Commanders, dude, like, we're babies. We're not ready yet. We're just not ready yet. The secondary is not ready yet.
Babies.
Like, we're babies, dude. Like, it's babies. Like I said, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans had 2 each. And I think they damn near had 100 yards each. Like, it was bad. Like, it was actually bad. And then it got to the point where Rachaad White was starting to break loose. He was getting 6 yards. I said, man, I don't know. But here's what I will say. The Giants is the right play because of this. When's the last time the Commanders beat the Giants? It's been like 2 years. It's been like 2 years. They got swept. They got swept this year. And I think we got swept the year before that. Because Saquon scores 2 touchdowns a game against us. I mean, that's mathematical. Like, we know that's going to happen. So, next time you see the Eagles play the Commanders, Saquon Barkley, I would even say 3 at this fucking point. God damn. So,
yeah. Saquon Barkley versus the Commanders, 2 touchdowns, minus 110.
Right. And I would love to say, hey, we got a shot because at least back then we put pressure on Daniel Jones. Bro, we didn't put no pressure on Baker Mayfield. We put none. And here's what I will say. What's the line? What's the line at? What,
plus
3?
1.5 Giants.
Plus 1.5 Giants. The only reason why I would say take the Commanders is because at least I know if they're not going to pass the ball, Jaden Daniels is going to at least get down the field and run. All right, he's going to get down the field and run. He's probably the most mobile quarterback we've had, and that's going to cause a lot of fits for the Giants defense, especially with them not getting pressure. Now, granted, here's what I will say. The Giants are the right play because all of a sudden, too, Kayvon Thibodeau decides to have career games against the Commanders. For some reason, like the two players with the most expectation that plays the absolute worst plays the absolute best against the Washington Commanders. So stay away from a 10-foot pole. I'm gonna still to the Commanders, by the way, but stay away from this from a 10-foot pole, bro. Please don't be me. Don't be me and sweat this fucking game out because you guys decided to take fade Daniel Jones. Fade the fucking Commanders at this point. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, for your sake, it's not going to be anywhere for a
Yeah.
contest play, so don't
Nope.
worry about that, man.
Yep.
Just go through your emotional pain on Sunday. I got you.
Plenty of beer. Plenty of beer.
Might end up getting to the liquor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh
That Grey
man! All
Goose,
right,
baby. Say nah.
this ain't water, man. Uh, Rams
Oh
plus one
shit.
and a half traveling to the feisty Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals got some decent money in. Rams also had some respected money come in too.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it was
yeah.
that Rams plus 2.5. Might have dropped out to 1.5. I might have gotten that backwards. Regardless, looks like Rams going to be without Puka Nakua. Cardinals are the trendy team right now. They look really good for the most part about the Bills. They just couldn't close the job. I really like the Rams as a teaser piece, plus 7.5 on a teaser. There's a couple of really good games you could tease with too. One's coming up. So Rams plus 7.5 on a teaser. I kind of like the Rams here. I kind of do for real. Cardinals I have a little bit invested in the Cardinals. I sprinkled them to like go over their alt win total and stuff, and really didn't see much from Marvin Harrison Jr., which is
Right.
which might be a
Surprising.
problem in this game, but not too strong of a side either way. Don't think this would be a contest play. Do you have any strong feelings here?
Not really strong feelings. Like I said, I still have I had the Rams in the division to start the season. I was actually very, very ecstatic from what I saw last game because I thought it could have got way worse than that. The defense producing some pressure. I mean, like I said, they with that D line and changed depth. They say, okay, we don't have one superstar, so now we're going to use depth, and that worked in their favor, man. They kept that game completely close and went to overtime because of that. And hey, man, kudos. And hey, Tre'Davious White too. Oh my God, man, kudos to you. I mean, I thought you was about probably dead in the water. You're a little, washed up because you're a little older. You had a couple injuries, but you showed out, man. I mean, hey, Rams, hey, respect. And because of that respect, I'll probably stay away from this game because of that, And
Yeah.
Cardinals, respect to you guys. Kyler Murray, way to come to fucking play, man. Way to come to play. Now you didn't end with more passing touchdowns, but you came to play. James Conner backed you up tremendously. Had a really good game, man. James Conner's always an underrated dog for some reason. So very more even than what people think. To start the season is way more even than I think right now. I will lean more towards the Rams, but hey, man, just enjoy some good NFC West football, guys. Just sit back and
It'd be a
watch
good
this.
game for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, don't really have a strong feeling either way, but yeah, I really looking forward to seeing that game. Let's go to the Bengals and Chiefs. Man, what are we supposed to do here, dude? Bengals plus 6 at the Chiefs. I think you have to separate everything. You have to separate everything. Like, the only thing that's giving me hesitation on not just playing the Bengals is if it goes to 5.5, we may have a different conversation. If it goes to 6.5, I don't know how we don't play the Bengals.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is, though, we're kind of seeing it. Like, I really thought with Joe Burrow being healthy for this offseason, that in the preseason, that they would come out a little bit sharper. That wasn't the case. I know they had some unlucky bounces. I know a lot of that stuff was just bloopers and non-consistent stats. But we know Joe Burrow early in the season. I mean, I think in the second week, I think it's like 0-4 or 0-5, whatever it is, straight up. Doesn't win.
Right.
And I think he's covered one of those games as an underdog. Like, there's not much that you could take from that Bengals game. And like you said, I think the biggest piece that's kind of making me a little bit hesitant because this number is kind of big if it's at 6 or 6.5 is the almost like what's the word? Uninterested Jamar Chase.
Yes.
He just doesn't look like he wants to be there.
Yes.
Like, paid or not. Like, he's there. I think he's there because he loves football and he wants to play with Burrow. But, dude, the fumble, he didn't run after the guy. When the ball was turned over, he just kind of stood. Like, there's no drive there, man. Like, he catches the ball, he does he does his thing, but like, when your star player is just uninterested, it dwells on the rest of the team. So that's my hesitation with the Bengals right now. It's like I almost wanted to get to 5.5 in our contest, so I can't even play it. Like because I know if it's 6.5, I'm gonna be pulling teeth, and me and you are gonna probably have to play this.
Yeah,
But I almost want this to be 5.5 because I don't even know if I want to do this with you. I don't even know if I want to do this, man.
This at all. Yeah, nah.
I think it's an overreaction, but I'm nervous about it.
And you have every right to. You have every right to. Matter of fact, hey, where my pen at? Where my book? Let me get my book. Matter of fact, I don't know where the fuck my book at right now. Hey, Zach Taylor. You at the top of that dungeon. You ain't in the bottom yet. You ain't in the cellar, but you're in the dungeon. All right. Bro, what are we doing? This is a continuous theme every year. There's been the same thing every year. You lose the first few games, and all of a sudden you want to decide to get hot. Right now, there's two things that's not on your side right now. One, your star receiver is disgruntled as fuck. He has shown no interest in being a part of the team right now. Let me not say part of the team because he is with Joe Burrow, the dog, whatever. But he's just out there. And you can see it in his expression. That's probably the most plain 6 receptions, 60 yards I've ever seen from Jamar Chase, because that's still kind of crazy. He's still interested in 60 yards. But you gave him 6 targets. 6 targets. Jamar Chase, 6 targets. That is a problem. You got to go in the dungeon for that. That is a huge problem, especially with T. Higgins out. And that's another thing. T. Higgins about damn near wants to be there either because he has contract disputes as well. He's hurt. So, and I have the Bengals winning the division to start the year in the preseason because I thought, the band's back at it, the last dance type shit, one big run before T. Higgins goes and splits. But, man, dude, there's no chemistry. All this thing has been big drama, and that's not really what I associate with the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, Ocho Cinco was a whole TV show himself, but I never associated this with the Bengals. So this is a completely new thing with me when it comes to them. I don't like Patrick Mahomes. Like you said, Patrick Mahomes, big numbers, don't cover them. That's why you take the plus 6.5.
That's a really good point.
The plus 6.5. That's why you take them. But I don't know what I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? Right now, of course, if everything was straight and normal, it would have been the fucking Cincinnati Bengals hands down. Hands down. If it was a big number. But there's just so much turmoil. I don't know what to expect from the defense a little bit right now. It's just so much going on. And I give it to you. Xavier Worthy had 2 touches, but them 2 touches were meant for touchdowns, man. That kid's explosive. So yeah. It's bro, we're going to be, we might have to revisit this, maybe talk about it, but yeah, I don't know.
We'll fill it out for sure.
I don't know right now.
We got to see what the number is before we say or start.
Final number, right? Final line, right?
I almost wanted to be 5.5, so anyone got to worry about it.
right, yeah, facts.
So let's move on to an interesting game here. We have the Steelers as road favorites, -3 traveling to Denver. I think the Denver Broncos, like you, surprised us pleasantly.
Yeah.
The defense showed up. Bo Nix, sparks of big plays. I would love for this to be 3.5 in the contest.
Right.
I would love for it to be 3.5 because I really think the Broncos are going to be in a good spot here. At home, the Steelers, their offense didn't look great. They had a couple big plays, but for the most part, they just couldn't finish drives. And the Broncos also have that defense better than the Falcons. I mean, the Steelers have a problem with the Falcons' defense, and the Steelers' defense won them the game versus the Falcons. And now it's going to be a defensive battle. Most likely probably going to play the under here. I don't see any explosive plays, but we still have Patrick Surtain. He's still there. So it's going to be a TJ Watt versus Surtain defensive matchup, and I think Peyton is going to have the capability to scheme around protecting Nix against TJ Watt. He's done it basically his whole career with Drew Brees. This is no exception. Bo Nix a little bit more mobile. Well, much more mobile than Drew Brees.
Mobile. Yeah.
I think there's a path for the Broncos to win this game. We love the Steelers as home dogs. We don't love them as road favorites.
Right. And that was the big difference. Home or away. Right? If you're in fucking the Steel City as a rookie, boy. Like I said, even as a rookie, playing in the 12th man, he played somewhat decent. I will give him that.
It was competitive for a while.
Yeah, it was competitive. And granted, that was also caused to Seattle didn't generate no offense. Like I said, maybe just good knock on the defense. Defense played great. that was the one things I was very, very, very concerned about. But they shored some things up, man. I mean, they did some pretty damn good things, man, holding that Seahawks offense, especially with two explosive receivers. So I agree with you. I do agree. I think if it's at 3.5. I mean, what 3? What's the line right now? It's
It's
favored.
sitting at
Who's
3.
favorite?
I'm hoping we get 3.5 in the contest.
Right, for the Broncos plus 3.5, right? Yeah, at that point, yeah. So
Yep.
I definitely agree with you on that. If we take the right side of the number at 3, like I said, you definitely take the Broncos defense. I never thought I'd say that, but the Broncos defense really did like that. They literally brought joy. Like that really brought me some joy a little bit. Like maybe Sean Payton got something going on right now. He know what he's talking about. So I like it. Like I said, I just I don't I don't believe you can bet with the Steelers right now. And I know I say that because it's Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's the GOAT. I mean, yeah, great coach, whatever. But how
The
many
biggest
times
thing
can
is
they?
road
How many
favorite.
times can how many times can this defense bail them out? And how many times can this defense bail them out? Justin Fields with no
And on
touchdowns.
top of that, TJ Watt had two stripped fumbles and two strip sacks that were taken back by
Late,
penalties. So it could have really gotten ugly
ugly.
down there in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with Dynell. I think if it lands on 2.5, it's probably gonna be a no play either way because I really don't want to lay the
Mm-hmm.
points with the Steelers on the
Which
road. But if it's 3.5, definitely going to be in
when
consideration
for
for
the Broncos.
the contest. Let's
Mm-hmm.
move on to the Bears and the Texans. Bears plus 6.5 traveling to Houston. Not going to touch this.
Yeah, at all.
We kind of saw the Bears have, Caleb Williams' first start, rightfully so. 0 offensive touchdowns in that game. The only thing that, a lot of people are going to say, okay, this is a good spot for the Bears. They have the capability. But the problem is, if CJ Stroud gets going early, I don't think the Bears can catch up. Like, it's really going to come down to the Bears defense stepping up. They're plus 6.5. If CJ Stroud goes up, scores on his first 2 possessions, 14-0, I mean, we're asking the Bears to pick up 2 possessions there. I
Right.
don't like that. So I'm not going to be on the Bears here. I'll see what it's probably going to be 6.5 in the contest. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Well,
But
well,
this might be a
yeah.
pass for me.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like that's what's gonna be mainly a pass. The fact, like I said, I feel like because that Chicago Bears defense is still, I mean, they're still something to be reckoned with, and they can still put that pressure on. The biggest thing with me is we seen what this whole hype about with Caleb Williams and his whole offense expecting to be great. They were completely, I would even say abysmal. They were abysmal as far as I'm concerned. Matter of fact, they got bailed out by the defense on winning that game. So I can't take it. So right back to what I'm talking about with, I can't take what I see. Caleb Williams, bro. I have not seen a great thing from Caleb Williams yet. Really, let's be honest. We haven't seen a great thing at all. And with Odunze being out right now, I think he's banged up. He's hurt. So you're banking on Keenan Allen, who showed his age. Let's be real, showed his age
Yeah,
out there.
props,
Yeah, in
man.
this past game. Yeah, the drops. Can't really move out as fast in his cuts. Between him and then DJ Moore, he's capable. It's like I haven't seen it. DeAndre Swift even didn't look great. So and that's to me a rookie quarterback's best friend, that running back. So it's gonna get tough. It's gonna get dicey. I can't. Like I said, I might pass on it. 'Cause I can't confidently say Houston won't beat the brakes off the Bears and when that offense can't do nothing. But I also can't bank that to say that defense won't still be stalwart against that Houston offense. So I might stay away. Might be something we revisit too. We might revisit, but yeah, right now let's take it easy. I'm staying away from that.
Yeah, we'll see what the line gets to.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads us to Monday night. We have the Atlanta Falcons
Woo!
traveling to Philly to face the Eagles. Eagles are minus 6.5 home favorites. There's 2 conflicting sides here that I'm kind of trying to face. So, when you
Right.
see the Falcons versus the Eagles plus 6.5, like it's screaming, take me. Like the number is
Right.
screaming plus 6.5, take me.
Mm-hmm.
Because personally, as an Eagles fan, it's like every time we play the Falcons, it's a 1 possession game. It comes down to the end of the wire, a field goal, or I just remember Julio Jones getting a pass drop in the end zone. But when I think of the Vikings, I think every time the Vikings come to town, we beat the shit out of them. So
Right.
it's a kind of a mix here. We're getting Kirk
Mm-hmm.
Cousins, who kind of fails against the Eagles, and then we're having the Falcons that collectively generally plays well against the Eagles. I'm probably going to pass this. I mean, the number's
Yeah.
large. Obviously, I like the Eagles to win here, but I mean, the Falcons, The only problem is like the Falcons have Kirk Cousins, who was not mobile at all. Like you could still
Right.
tell he's having issues pushing off of that back foot with the Achilles injury. He's not mobile at all. The Steelers made that very
Known,
like
known,
very
known,
known, and now you got
very
the
known.
strength of the Eagles' defense, which is the line. I mean, that's just a mess. That's just a recipe for disaster. However, I will say that
Mhm.
the Falcons' defense is good, and they're going to
Yes,
keep
they
them
are
in this
very good.
game. Uh,
Hmm.
Jalen Hurts kind of had some questionable decision making with the ball. You know, like the interception in the red zone when they could have went up by 2 possessions and just kicked the field goal. Like there is some greed you can see. They're in like this scoring mode, like a scoring frenzy. Um,
Hmm.
the Falcons' defense is good, and that's why I will not be laying the points. If anything, I'll probably be taking the points.
Right.
But there's nothing I love too much in this game. What about you?
No, there's nothing I really love. I mean, like I said, the only thing I love is Eagles winning, but I don't think they're going to beat the brakes off them. Like I said, that defense was a very pleasant surprise for the Falcons. I mean, a very pleasant surprise. Now, granted, they played against the Steelers. Still, I mean, Justin Fields and whatnot, but that's still not an easy assignment. I mean, containing Justin Fields. So, and they did pretty. They did it for the most part. They did it for the most part. The offense failed you. Kirk Cousins looked every bit of, oh yeah, my Achilles hurts. Like
Mhm.
it looks painful. It looks really painful. He doesn't have much zip on the ball as much as he did. The only good thing from that offense was congratulations, Kyle Pitts. You got a week 1 touchdown.
There you go.
So like
Couldn't believe it.
that's the biggest thing right now. Oh, B John. I mean, once again, a machine. 100 total yards last game. No, I'm sorry, 115 total yards. I think so. He can carry a load, but like I said, I can't bank right now. Like you said, Jalen Hurts did a couple things where I was like, you're doing the same shit you did last year, my boy. And
Hmm.
that's what scares me a little bit. So, hey, all in all, Saquon Barkley kind of shed the light on him a little bit more than that. But like I said, yeah, I'll just stay away from it, bro. Just take it easy. We'll just, hey, enjoy some Monday Night Football.
I agree. So that's the week 2 preview. For those of you guys who were wondering, because earlier I did mention the teaser that I placed, the teaser was the Eagles down to a point 0.5, minus point 0.5, the Rams up to plus 7.5, and then it was the Niners down to point 0.5. So it's Rams, Niners, Eagles as the teaser. I placed that yesterday. That was a teaser I was talking about. So for those of you guys who are probably waiting for that, I know I said that earlier. I just figured I'd go ahead and say that. But that was the week 2 preview for the NFL season. We will be back, most likely an episode dropping either Friday night or Saturday morning with our 5 picks for the contest. Looking to get back on track after a 2-3 week. I am still in Survivor. We gave 2 Survivor picks last week, and unfortunately the Bengals didn't show up. But as I mentioned, I said the Seahawks were going to be our second pick. So the one in
Mm-hmm.
Dynell and I were playing together. Unfortunately, we're
Sure.
out. But
Chalk.
I do have one left. I have 2 left because I played 4 total. So I had 2 of the Bengals, 2 of the Seahawks. So I have 2 left for the Seahawks. Dynell and I are still going to talk about it. We'll
Mm-hmm.
probably just play one of those together, and then I'll just play the other one by myself. But most likely, we'll be giving 2 picks per usual for the Survivor. But
Yes,
you'll get
sir.
all of that on Friday, plus our 5 picks. So without further ado, Dino, do you have any last words for the viewers?
Same message as always, knuckleheads. Make sure you guys tune in. Tune in every week, 2 episodes a week. Got our picks.